Hey, welcome to the Wedding Reporter podcast. Today I have a wedding report for you. Alexis and Quinton Claybrooks got married here in Nashville, and I'm so excited to chat with them about their wedding. Quinton Claybrooks is a clinical research associate who has been in the field for 10 years, and Alexis Claybrooks is a radiologic technologist who now works in health IT. They joke that they are an old couple. They love to have slow mornings, grabbing coffee, and heading on a walk, but when it comes to traveling, their bags are already packed. Quinton is a movie buff, filled with entertainment facts, and Alexis is an animal lover who stops to save every turtle. Welcome, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love your bio. And it's so funny, Alexis, because just the other day, my husband stopped for a turtle, and he was a mean turtle. He was like a snapping turtle and did not want to move out of the roadway. He was like, my life is done. Let me just stay in the road. But we were trying to save him as best as we could. So I love that you said that. Yeah, and Quinton, love that. What's that?
I was going to say he's probably every time I make him go move the turtles. So we haven't had mean ones yet. I don't touch them. It's him.
That's amazing. That's so good. You're like, Quinton, go get him.
Yeah.
That's so good. All right. So let's talk about your relationship. How did you guys meet?
You want to take that?
She always makes me tell it. So we've known each other for years. So definitely like since we were like kids, teenagers. She was best friend.
Gosh.
She was best friends with my cousin. So we would kind of like see each other like every so often. Like if my family was doing something, she would come with my cousin and she would kind of just be there. And I think our relationship was just like, oh, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? And that was pretty much about it. And then we might have bumped into each other maybe a couple of times. Like there was an office I used to work at in Brentwood and her office was close by, and might have liked or commented on a few things on social media, but that was it. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of like it. Then like the pandemic had happened and I had posted something like in regards, like the Black Lives Matter movement was pretty heavy at that time. So I had posted something and she had kind of just reached out just to check on me. And then I was like, oh, Alexis, like where you like, because we hadn't spoken in so long.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, we should definitely like, get together, grab a beer or like some food or whatever the case may be. And then she was just like, yeah, like let me know. And then I think I let like a month or two go by before I even like set something up, just because I guess I wasn't sure if I was supposed to be like dating her, if I should be talking to her like that, because she had always came around like with my cousin.
Yeah.
I didn't know, like I've never dated someone that close to home. So like I wasn't sure, but I ended up setting something up and our first date was at the winery, Arrington. So it kind of just went from there.
Oh, yeah.
He left out that he left me on red years before that on Instagram.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, she always reminds me of that. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I know. So, Alexis, he didn't reach out for a while. What were you feeling? Or was it more like friendship at that point? Or were you like, come on, Quinton, like, we're supposed to go out somewhere?
So I fully thought, because we hadn't connected, he thought I had moved away from Nashville. I didn't really know anything. So I fully thought this was just us catching up. He had a girlfriend. I thought that until this date. I was unaware that it was a first date until he sat down. And the first question was, what is your love language? And I was like, wait, this is a date. Like, I thought you had a girlfriend. Like,
wow. That's a deep first question. I love that, though. You were like, I'm diving right in.
Yeah. And I was like, wait.
That's so good.
I was not prepared. I was fully prepared to get a drink with a friend, not a first date, like mentally prepared for a first date.
Yeah, right. That's awesome. Well, apparently it all worked out. So take me from the time of your first date to your proposal and tell us your proposal story.
So we dated in wasn't secret, but we were very private with our relationship for 6 months?
Yeah, I'd say at least 6 months.
Yeah.
Nobody knew we were. Yeah.
Which I recommend. It was nice to just get to know someone without the pressure of other people knowing.
Yeah.
So after that 6-month mark, we kind of made things, I guess, official in that whole terms. So started really integrating friends and family. So the first year or two, we always like to say it was easy. Like there wasn't anything large. Like it just seemed to just fall into place.
Yeah, it was just us.
Yeah. So then I think around a year and a half in,
Yeah,
we kind of talked more about rings, kind of looked at some things, no definite plans.
Yeah. But just trying to have an idea of a few things. Yeah.
Which I love people who are, I trust my partner to get me the ring of my dreams, but I fully agree that some direction is helpful. Something you're going to be wearing forever.
Yeah, for sure. You'll have it for the rest of your life. Yeah, on your finger. So,
like, what if I tell you something and I've never had it and then I hated it once I got it? So, we did that, but he was like, he debriefed me before that. He was like, all right, we're going to do this. Don't pressure me. Like, this is just an idea. And I was like, all right. And then that was in like December. And then the next June, the following June, he proposed. So it was a long wait. So I kind of forgot about it. But the proposal was, I mean, he did good. He hit it. It was his birthday weekend. I had some things planned. And then we went actually back to the winery because his birthday is kind of around the same time that our first date was. So we went back. At the end of the night, we ended up at my apartment. And then the next morning, I woke up and he was gone. I was like, well, okay. He just left my apartment and left. I was like, okay, I didn't know you were going to wake up this early. But he left me a note that was like, sorry I had to leave. Pack your bags for 3 nights and be ready at 6 p.m. It's like, okay.
No way.
Yeah. So I was like,
That's so exciting.
I was like, I feel like I need to go shopping. Like, what do I wear? Like, so that was kind of like my first.
Right. Yeah. Like, is it cold weather? Is it warm weather? Like, what do I even pack?
So that was my first clue, I think. I went shopping that day, had this idea. I was like, what am I going to wear? Like, what if there's photos? This is going to be, something I'm going to look at for a while. He picked me up at 6 in this new outfit, which was another clue. Because I was like, I hadn't seen this outfit before. It was really nice. And we ended up at a house. But we pulled up to this house and he said, wait in the car. I'm like, okay, wait in a car in a strange neighborhood we've never been in front of someone's house we've never been in. Like, it was a whole
right? Yeah.
And I don't even think
happening here.
Running. So it was hot in June.
I
don't think
for sure. The little details, they all matter.
No, I'm surprised I didn't forget the rings.
Right?
Yeah, so then he finally texted me, he's like, all right, come inside. So I come in this house and there's rose petals and candles everywhere. And ended up being, was it 3 levels?
Yeah, it was 3 levels.
So the 3rd level ended up being the rooftop, which is where he was standing. So the rooftop overlooking downtown Nashville.
Whoa.
And he had a photographer. We were videoing it. He had a whole speech planned. He was shaking so bad. It was like, he was just shaking.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Proposed, and we still, all of it sounds like a blur now. Like, I can't remember his speech, but luckily he did save it in his phone, so we can always go back and look at it. But
oh, cool.
It was the quickest moment.
Wow. Oh my gosh, how special. Like, to have that all set up and everything, and then, oh, it just sounds so dreamy, and to have the picturesque background of downtown Nashville, and to have a photographer and videographer there to just like capture those moments that you will have for forever. So that's so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so you guys get engaged. Tell us about the wedding planning process. Like, how long were you engaged for? And like, what was your experience like with hiring your vendors and everything?
So we're engaged for a little over a year, right?
Yeah.
In June. So we got married the following November. And we waited again, 6 months before we even started planning.
Yeah, we were
to really enjoy that engagement season, because I think that's overlooked in our relationship.
Yeah, or even just to think about like
I
what we
love that,
wanted,
you guys.
or what we wanted in terms of a wedding.
Yeah.
Like we really wanted to, because it took us a while to decide. It's like, do we want a wedding or do we just want to run off? Or if we do a wedding, like we definitely had like a lot of do's and don'ts. You know, we definitely didn't want to like settle on a venue, or we wanted like there was a certain look that we were going for if we decided to go with a wedding versus if we elope and everything like that. And then we did finally decide to do the wedding, you know, mostly like, I mean, I think it was like for us, like I don't think we did a lot of bending for a lot of people, but we definitely like it was for us and definitely for our parents, I would say as well.
Yeah.
Like I know my parents, and then you know she's an only child, so like it, there's just some moments we know that are important, so we did decide to do it that way. So
And so we took the 6 months, made that decision, enjoyed being engaged, because and just not think about a wedding. Like that's a whole season of a relationship that is often overlooked, but it's new. So that gave us time to figure out, okay, what do we want? What do we want to spend? Like, what's our priorities? How does that line up? And we also didn't set a number, like a numerical budget, which I think a lot of people would disagree with. But we didn't set a numerical budget because we didn't want to stress out if something was over or under. But we went about finding most affordable vendors that could fit, that we thought we worked well with on relationship wise, like our personalities meshed well, and that they understood what we were looking for, and based on their portfolios. Like we did a lot of research. So I think we saw 20 venues before we committed to one.
And the last venue we saw was the one that we ended up picking, because
oh my gosh,
it's crazy because Nashville, like everything is like so expensive, or you're getting like, we knew we didn't want to get married outside. We weren't really going for the barn look. Nothing wrong with someone who chooses that, but it just wasn't really our vibe. So like the museum, it was the last place we saw, and we went in there and we was like, wow. Like it's a hidden gem, I will say that. Like I definitely recommend. Yeah, I definitely recommend the spot. So I was like, yeah, we went in there. I was like, I think we can do something with this. Like it's giving everything that we need, and we don't have to. Besides getting tables and chairs, we didn't have to bring much to the space. Like it was given off its own vibe, elegance, which is kind of just, I don't know that's just who we are as people, when we do things, I guess. So making it a moment, I guess. So, yeah.
Yeah. So we
finished.
finished.
For sure. I think that's so smart.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, so we finished like all of our lists, interviewed and met with people, like for coffee, we met with some of our vendors just to get to know them, because we did pick some smaller, less known vendors, which also seem to have better prices, which made it ultimately more affordable for us.
Yeah.
And we're happy, like we're not stressed. We have a lot of friends that got married and they're like, well, just take the money, it's so expensive. But we don't feel that way because we didn't give ourselves that numerical number pressure. And we know that we did it something that aligned with us and our morals and personalities.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think the way you guys went about it is really cool and really unique, and you don't hear that a lot. And I see a lot of similarities with how you started dating. You kind of kept it not a secret, but just like a little more private for 6 months. And then the same thing in your engagement. You just enjoyed that time in your life for 6 months without having to worry about wedding planning and all that goes into it. And so I think that's a really smart way to start your marriage and start your engagement through that process before all of the planning and crazy and family opinions and things start. And so you also said something else that's like, you know, you did hire these lesser known wedding pros, but you took them out to coffee and you vetted them yourself and you made sure that your values lined up with theirs and that what they were delivering, they could actually deliver on. And so I think, yes, sometimes it is a risk to do that, but you guys went about it doing it the right way to instead of just like seeing somebody pop a link in a Facebook group and being like, oh, their prices are great, book, and then like they don't show up on your wedding day. So like I think the way you guys went about it is really smart. So bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and then one other thing I thought of, like you said, the museum, it's like this gem that like not a lot of people know about in Nashville. Like I was just looking back at your wedding and I was like, oh, that was a Country Music Hall of Fame wedding, wasn't it? And then I was like, oh, no, it was at the Tennessee State Museum. And I'm like, it has that like same vibe, but I'm sure for like a lesser price than booking Country Music Hall of Fame. And so like you guys truly did your research and made sure like, okay, you didn't really set a budget, but like you're like, this is the vibe that we want to go with, and like it's less than maybe some other places could be. And so once again, really smart move on you guys' part.
For sure.
So yeah. So describe the style of your wedding and like what did you want it to feel like, and also describe like your attire and what you chose to wear.
Yeah. I don't know, we definitely wanted like black and white.
Timeless.
Yeah, she was very I mean, I think we knew like before we knew if we was even having a wedding or not. Like we knew there was going to be a strict dress code. She knew she wanted everyone to wear all black. It's just one of those things, and like that was one thing that was easy. So I would definitely say like we're very like, what was it? I guess for like our aesthetic, we wanted
modern.
Yeah, modern.
And timeless. And I love color weddings. I love that. But I'm the type of person that will do that and then 6 months later be like, why did I pick that color? So I don't have those feelings because it's just those pictures will outlast a lot of the trends that were happening. Like, yes, we did some trendy things, but in a way that the simple black and white, not a lot of color. Even our flowers, it didn't feel something that I'm going to look back and be like, wow, that was nothing
was too heavy or nothing like clashed. I mean, some of our guests might have thought we were extra, but I mean, and they probably did, but you know, it's our wedding. Like we have every right to do that. But like at the same time, at the same time, they brought the vibe, you know what I'm saying? Like they added to the core, I guess you could say, by them following, because everyone followed it. Like I was impressed. Like everyone followed the attire.
That's amazing.
You know, we did get a lot of questions about it, but like I feel like, you know, now that I think about it, like, you know, requesting your guests to wear all black, like it's not
color, like any type of scheme.
Yeah. Really. But I would like to think black is an easy color. Like I feel like it's one of those pieces that everyone should have for the most part in their closet. Like if you want to go out and buy something new, yeah, go ahead. But I didn't want people to feel like they had to, like, you know, break the bank too much. You know, it's just something, keeping it easy.
It lets the photos. So we brought in everything that was white, like white linens, the ghost chairs. Having our guests wear black really made, they were essentially part of the decor that we didn't have to bring in or pay extra or have a vendor bring in. So it was really that they just helped us by that, and it made our pictures look good.
Yeah. That's such a cool way of looking at it, like having your guests be a part of the decor and requiring a dress code. And yeah, I'm impressed that everybody followed your dress code. Did that take like a lot of follow up? Were you guys like texting people, or like did you have it on your invitation, or like
It
how
was
did you go
on.
about doing that?
I think I made our invitation suite. So I made an info card, and it listed it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to ask us any questions on our wedding website. I had examples, and I think
perfect.
Yeah.
Our planner was at the door with her or whoever was a part of our planning team. Someone was at the door, just being that extra level of security for that. And if someone did
That's cool.
step outside of the box, they just had to be set elsewhere during our ceremony to not be in our photos. Because it would stick out if most people wore black and someone came in with yellow. That would be the one thing that would stick out.
Right.
So they were set elsewhere. But it wasn't I wouldn't have felt bad because we explained it multiple times. That was kind of it would have been on purpose, but no one did that.
Yeah, they had enough. Yeah, there was definitely enough notice.
Yeah, good.
And like, yeah, everything was clear about it. Like from the save the date to the formal invitation, like everybody knew. I think I did like some follow-ups on my end just for like family members that I have, like people that are like, older, that wasn't like kind of understanding, making sure that my parents were aware. And then I did have some friends reach out asking, would it be okay if I do like a pop of color, like if my shoes are a different color, or like, I think I have a friend, I think one of her bags that she wore with her dress was like blue or something. I was like, yeah, that's fine, just as long as your main attire is like mostly black. So I can appreciate people asking before they just did whatever it is they wanted to do. So
yeah, that's good. That's cool that they had you to go through as far as if what was cool and what wasn't. So yeah. And then I hear that you guys had a really special officiant at your wedding. Do you want to explain a little bit more about who this person was?
That was all Quinton. That was his. We kind of divvied up different things.
Yes.
And his was to get the officiant.
Yeah.
So this was all him, which I'm so happy with.
Yeah, that was probably choosing the officiant. That was like really hard for me, because if you'd asked me, like, I don't know, years ago, just from the moment I was a kid to like my early 20s or whatever, like I was thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be a minister, somebody I've known my whole life. But like, some things change. Like we're still like, I would like to think like we're Christians or whatever, but I think our I guess our faith or our walk is like a little different. So we wanted, I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, I guess we didn't want like a super churchy vibe, I guess, but we did want it.
No, I get that. Yeah.
We did want some mention of God and, like the traditional wedding vows and everything to a sense. So randomly, when we had thought about eloping, I got on this website. I can't even remember the website that I was on. I was just Googling, and then I came across Brandon Baker, and I was like, I know this kid because, like, as you mentioned, like I'm a movie junkie, but I'm also like big into like the DComs, the Disney Channel original movies, and I was like, yeah, that's Johnny Tsunami.
Yes.
I was like, how crazy would it be if I could get him to do like our wedding, to officiate or whatever. So I just sent him a message on Instagram. I didn't even know if he was going to see it or like look at it. And I don't know, maybe like, I don't even know if it was a couple of weeks, and he responded relatively quickly, I feel like. And he was just like, yeah, I have some availability. Like we can set some time up. Here's my email, just, tell me a little bit about yourselves. And we met like a couple of times. We did like a Zoom call. And he really got to know it. Real nice guy. Like he was definitely, it was definitely a good choice. Like I'm glad we went with him.
And that may have been, out of everything, people were most complimentary about what he said, because even though we met him, we did a questionnaire, we met him virtually, for him to put all that in the speech. And our friends that are married, they're like, that is the best advice, that is the best speech, that is the best just everything that he put in there is something he's like, we've never heard that before. They were just highly complimentary of his work, and it felt true to us.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he had known us for years. Which
and some people thought that. And some people thought they was like, so how do you know him? How long have you known him? Because nobody knew who he was. Like there was a few people in the audience that were like, he looks so familiar, but I can't put my put my finger on it where I know him from. And he was just like super humble, very down to earth. Like he came in, did his thing. He hung out during the reception for a little bit, during cocktail hour. And just really nice guy.
That's so cool. I mean, like, what a dream to look back when you're like, I don't know, how old, 10, 12, something like that, of like a movie that you watched and loved. Like, I loved watching Disney Channel movies too. And like, I did the same thing. I did a double take. I was like, how do I know that? Like, when I was looking at your wedding photos, I was like, how do I know him? And then we did the interview and I was like, oh my gosh, it is Johnny Tsunami. That's so awesome. So what a gem that you found online. Like, who knew that he was a wedding officiant now? So that was a really cool, like, added touch to your wedding. And like, it's cool to hear how he made it so special for you guys and how it was such a unique part of your day that everybody was just like raving about from, afterwards. So that's really cool. So let's go. Were there any really special moments from the day besides, saying your vows and hearing what Brandon had to say? Or were there any moments that you kind of had to go off script for your wedding?
Going off script. I'm trying to think.
We did
like that were a little mishaps that,
Yeah. We did eat separately.
So that was,
I'm glad we did that. We went upstairs to eat.
Oh, our cake fell, which that's probably the biggest mishap, but we didn't care.
Yeah, we didn't care about that. That wasn't like
you're like, we're married. Like,
it is
whatever.
what it is.
We had 3 tiers. The middle one was a clear one, so it seemed I wanted like a tall skinny cake.
That's cool.
So we had a clear one in the middle, and I guess there wasn't. I don't know what bakers use to make the bottom sturdy when you use a fake tier like that. But I guess it just slowly started leaning, and everyone around was kind of like, "Oh, it's kind of leaning," and we weren't even there. And I guess it fell. The table was beside. I guess they screamed.
We didn't even
know what to do.
We didn't even see it happening. Yeah, we didn't even see it happening. Like,
then our wedding planner finds us for like a while later because I had 3 looks, so I was changing, and he had just finished up a dance. And she said, "Oh, so we have bad news." And I was like, "What happened?" She said, "Your cake fell." And we just kind of looked at each other and we're like, "Oh, we don't care." We were like, "Okay." We're not going to eat it.
Yeah. It took like one bite. Yeah. That was it. And that was really just for the photos.
Yeah.
And
right? Yeah, totally.
That was, I don't think anything else really happened.
No, nothing I can think of. Like,
there's always at least one thing, and you guys seem like you took it and rolled with it really well. So, yeah that's so good.
And maybe timing. Like, I think we started a little late.
Yeah, timing.
But that was it.
Yeah, I think.
That's pretty normal. So.
Yeah.
One last question. Do you have any advice for couples who are getting married now?
I think it would be to enjoy your engagement. That is, I just hear people which I know I've said it in this like talk before, but enjoying that time of just, this is a new season of your relationship, and one that is so often overlooked because you're so busy planning. So enjoying that new step in your relationship is something we value. Like, we took a trip, like there was just being engaged was a good time, like milestone for us.
Yeah.
Great advice.
I would definitely say taking the time to enjoy it, taking that time to process the moment, and like really thinking about like what it is that you both want to do. Like, try your best, which I get that it's hard, but try your best not to worry about other people, like what you're doing. Because like our wedding was traditional, but it also was not traditional. So, sometimes,
Yeah.
people don't understand that. It's like, why are you doing it this way? Why'd you take this out? Like, why are you not? It doesn't matter. Like, you're coming, you know, whoever you're inviting to your wedding, if they care about you and if they want to be there, they're going to show up. They're going to do what you want them to do, no questions asked, and that's what it should be. And I would also say to uh when it's wedding time or like the day of the wedding, try your best, and I think we did a pretty good job. Try your best to stay with each other as much as possible.
Yeah.
Like, I know we didn't see each other most of the morning, so I didn't know how things were going for her, and like with hair and makeup, I didn't know how she was feeling. Like, I didn't know if it was overwhelming, because it's a lot. It's a big day, and like the day goes by like so fast. Like, even though like we remember people having a good time, it was still a blur. Yeah, it really was. So like we were like pretty much like handcuffed to each other like as much as we could, like for that whole day, the whole afternoon. Just I was following her, she was following me, or I was holding her dress, whatever the case may be. So it's important, try to speak to all your guests, get some photos, all that, but yeah,
Do it together.
but try to do it together. Try not to get separated.
That's easy too.
Yeah. Not saying not to
Yeah,
enjoy
so easy
yourself,
to
but
do.
like
Yeah.
still try to enjoy as much of it as you can together. So
Yeah. I think that's really good advice. And it seems like you guys were so intentional with everything that you did and you don't regret it. And it definitely paid off. And so, yeah, thinking about all of these things before you just start jumping right into anything is a really smart thing to do. And so, yeah, your wedding is so beautiful. I loved featuring it on Nashville Bride Guide. Definitely, if you're listening to this or watching it on YouTube, go and check it out on the blog. Their photos are gorgeous. And yes, we can wrap up here. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat today, and go check out their wedding.
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye.
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 Yeah, thanks. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Wedding Reporter podcast. I hope you learned a little bit and had fun today. To find more resources and podcast episodes, visit NashvilleBrideGuide.com for more information. And as always, click the subscribe button and leave us a review. Until next time, I'm Alyssa DeChico, signing off.